Three Cherokee County Sheriff's Office employees are now off the job, facing charges accused of misusing the agency's license plate reader system. The Sheriff's Office tells 11 Alive that Lieutenant Chris Bryant, Sergeant Mike Creeden used the system for non-law enforcement purposes. Both now face criminal charges and have been fired. Investigators say the arrest follows an internal audit of that system. The same investigation led to the arrest of Deputy Cynthia Jodesty earlier this month.
Welcome back, FightFlock.com. In today's video, we have a 2-for-1 special. We have two sheriff's deputies charged with violating their oath of office by misusing and abusing the flock database system. Once again, it brings us to Cherokee County, Georgia, my home county, currently where I live. This is hard to believe, but not really. Today we have 2-for-1 special. This is Sergeant Mike Creeden. Mike was arrested for violating his oath of office. It was a felony charge and also a misdemeanor charge of saving that flock data also that he did gather up illegally. So Mike was charged on June 22nd, 2026 and booked into the Cherokee County Adult Detention Center and is awaiting his day in court. The second deputy was actually a lieutenant, same department, lieutenant. This is Chris Bryant. He is 45 years old and he's from Ackworth, Georgia. And he was also booked into the Cherokee County Adult Detention Center on June 22nd, 2026 for violating his oath of office, which is a felony, and also retaining the flock data that he gathered, just like his partner there, Mike Creeden. And Mike is a 35-year-old Sheriff's Department employee, again, a sergeant, and he's from Cartersville, Georgia, which is nearby here. So both these guys are awaiting their day in court. It looks like they misuse and abuse the flock database system. We have heard that before. There's not a lot of details coming from the Sheriff's Department as far as the details on who they flocked, when they flocked them, and how many times, right? So there's they're being really tight-lipped on that. But we do know just a week before these guys were arrested, we talked about Cynthia Jodesty, also a Cherokee County deputy. She was actually a street deputy on the beat, and she was arrested on June 12th, 2026. We covered that in a video on this channel. You can go back and watch that video, and then lo and behold, about a week later, they get two supervisors, which these guys are supervisors, right? You have a sergeant and a lieutenant, okay, going down for the same thing. And you know, the Sheriff's Department saying it was an audit conducted internally, that's how they caught this misuse and abuse, which I might halfway believe that, but I believe there's probably a snitch involved somewhere, and it brought down probably all three of these folks, to be honest. Otherwise, you know, something tells me this could be a statewide thing too. Maybe the GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigation, which is a state investigating agency, kind of like the FBI of Georgia. They probably might have sent out a memorandum or something telling these police agencies and Cherokee County Sheriff's Department in particular, all these sheriff's departments in particular, maybe to check their audit logs, in their flock database logs. Maybe there was some other pressure up higher. Hard to say there, though. Hard to say there. So let's look in some details here. We have both Creeden and Bryant were booked on the same exact charges. The bond was the same. It was $3,812 for each deputy. That's kind of low. $3,800 is kind of low. Felony charge included there should be about double that. It should be at least $6,500 or more. So they got a blue line special there. That was definitely a blue line hookup. I'm sure we're going to watch these cases closely when they go to trial, or if they plead out, what the kind of deal they get, because I'm pretty much Cherokee County, Georgia here, where I live. I know this county very well. And let me tell you, they throw the book at folks, right? It's pretty hardcore here in this county. They hand out some of the harshest sentences of all any county in the state of Georgia. So if these guys get any kind of blue line hookup, we're going to know for sure. So right now in this county, any kind of felony is automatically 1 year in prison minimum. Okay, so let me tell you that right now. So if these guys walk away with no prison time, we know the blue line hookup is alive and well. Also, let's see here. These guys, let's look at the charges. So the charges. So they had the two charges, one a felony, one a misdemeanor, but I see no stalking charge. Okay, and that's my question. Always these cases, very seldom do you see stalking charges, and it perplexes me. I'm puzzled by why don't we have stalking charges? And there's no stalking charges for either Creeden or Bryant here in this case. So I started to think about this, and what it is, the reason why is because if they gave them stalking charges, they'd have to give them a charge for each violation. So if they stalk someone 150 times, they need to give them 150 stalking charges, right? So that's why they don't do that. They don't stack charges on these cops like they would stack charges on you and me. Okay, this is just being real. Okay, this is BS. It's BS that these two cops don't have stalking charges, and I thought about this for many months. And why don't they ever charge these dudes with stalking? And I've covered many of these cases on this channel, and the reason being is if they did charge them with stalking, they'd have to stack them with multiple charges on stalking for each time they use and abuse the flock database system. Okay, and also I had a viewer we were emailing about this case before I went to film on it here, and one of my avid viewers, I'm gonna make sure he remains anonymous, but he made a great point. I want to bring that up too. That these guys were not charged with another. They should have been charged with another felony. That's basically basically a commission of a felony because they did do a felony violation of oath, right? So what happened to the charge of carrying a firearm while in commission of a felony charge, right? You or me would get charged with that. So it's basically it would be a separate felony charge. If you're committing a felony, you have a firearm on your person, okay, or in your car when you're doing the felony, they would charge you with the possession of a firearm while in commission of a felony. But they didn't charge these two dudes nothing like that, right? And that tells me that's also a blue line hookup, okay? And I guarantee you, there's about 0% chance that these dudes were not carrying a firearm when they were doing this, whether they were on duty or off duty committing this crime. They were carrying a firearm because I know a lot of cops, most cops carry their firearm while they're off duty. Okay, there's a lot of civilians that carry their firearm 24 hours a day, so they got a break there also. Okay, and that was a great point that one of my viewers made. Also, thinking back, there was no press conference, right? So my local sheriff here, Frank Reynolds, he's a sheriff here. He's been a sheriff here for 4 or 5 years. He had no press conference on this. 3 deputies going down for misusing and abusing the flock database system. Okay, that's pretty serious. All right, this is one of the worst cases I've heard of three deputies going down in one sheriff's department within a week or two. I've not heard that at all. And I've been covering flock for over 2 years. So we should have had a press conference, I believe. All we get is a brief statement he made about, their integrity and blah, 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 about internal audits and all that. But they should have had a press conference about this. We could have asked questions. The local media could have asked questions, okay? Because we're in the Atlanta, Georgia media market, right? We would have had plenty of news channels up at that press conference at the police, at the sheriff's department, which is about 5 miles from where I'm sitting right now. So that's also tells me the fix is in, okay, because there's no press conference. And our Cherokee County Sheriff, we paid this lady, this Patty Pan. She's an old newscaster that used to be on the local news. She got a job with the sheriff's department several years ago. They pay her big money to be the spokesperson, the public information director. You're paying this lady big money. She's getting paid 6 figures plus, right? And no word from her, nothing. This is ridiculous. She's supposed to be the public relations person. I'm the public, and I want to be related to. Okay, so where is she at? So we're paying her big money. I'd say 150 grand a year at least, paying this lady, and she don't even have to make a statement on this. One of the biggest scandals in the county history, as far as the sheriff's department's concerned. So that baffles me also. Okay, and that's what I tell you. The fix is in for sure, folks. Let's look at some more of my notes here. So also, they don't tell you how they access the flock. We don't know if it was was it at the sheriff's department? Was it on a laptop computer? Was it on a desktop computer? Was it on the app? We talked about the app. We showed this before. These cops have an app on their phone for flock. They can just dial any tag number right in their phone. this is the Apple version of the Flock app, and they can track somebody at their fingertips, right, from the comfort of their own home or wherever they may be. Okay, so that's that's the questions I would have for in this case, right? And going back to the audit, again, they say that this was an internal audit. I might halfway believe that, but I'm going to say there was probably a whistleblower, because that's the only reason we ever find out about these cases is because a whistleblower comes forward and we find out about it through that means, right? Trust me that the audit logs for Flock, they're very flawed. Okay, there's very little information in those things. There's you can FOIA some of the information. You don't always get it all. Some states you can, some states you can't. Fortunately, so I would seriously doubt that they just did this audit out of the kindness of their own heart. But I think, again, Flock is it's a violation of our Fourth Amendment rights. Hopefully, one day we have our day in court. The Supreme Court will rule this unconstitutional, and I can quit making videos about all these corrupt cops. Because I've said in previous videos, these guys are worse than criminals. Okay, they're worse than criminals. A criminal doesn't promise to be good. A criminal doesn't promise to uphold the law, swear an oath to the Constitution. These guys swore on the Bible, okay, on the Holy Bible, to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America. And what did they do? They crapped on it, okay? They wiped their behinds with it, okay? And these guys are worse than criminals, okay? Because a criminal doesn't promise to be good. A criminal could care less. The criminal just wants to survive. He wants to buy some drugs, steal something to get some money for the week, because he probably don't work, okay? A thief, same thing. They're just trying to steal something to get some money to go to a pawn shop and sell some stuff or whatever. But these guys, all these law enforcement people, all of them, Cynthia Jodesty, same thing. She's the one I covered 2 videos ago. It's 2 videos ago, because I did Holiday Hills, Illinois in the last video. They are worse than criminals. Let me tell you that. They are worse than criminals, okay? And I can't say that enough, and I can't stress that enough. Okay, it really does tick me off. Okay, I'm sorry to lose my cool, but it does tick me off. But for all this Flock stuff, you can thank Garrett Langley, CEO of Flock Safety, based right here in Atlanta, Georgia, too. Not too far from here. He's about 30 miles from where I'm sitting here in the Atlanta area. So I just hope one day, again, we can quit talking about all this misuse and abuse of the Flock camera database system, but I don't think we're going to be able to. I think there's going to be many, many more cases coming forward. And unfortunately, human nature is such that, man's heart and woman's heart is evil inherently, and they're going to misuse this technology at any time they have a chance to do it, or when there's a need to do it. And that's where we're at right now. Okay. We're facing a crossroads. Okay. The technology has led us to this crossroads. We're almost to the point of no return. Do we want to live in a mass surveillance state? All right, or not? And that's the question. Do we want to be surveilled every 24 hours, 7 days a week, or do we get some privacy back? That's going to be the decision we need to make, all of us as American citizens. But thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate all of my supporters. Thank you very much.